Imagine a factory floor that operates with almost perfect efficiency. Not because humans have been replaced, but because they've been upgraded. Today, we're diving into a technology that does just that, blending artificial intelligence, extended reality, and good old human expertise into one seamless, incredibly powerful interface.
So, let's just start with a fun idea. What if a factory operator had superpowers? The ability to see a machine's health just by looking at it, to spot a production problem before it even happens, and to make the absolute perfect call in the heat of the moment. It sounds a little like science fiction, right? Well, it's a lot closer than you might think.
And the tech that makes this possible? It's called an AI Augmented Interface, or AAI for short. Put simply, it's a tool that uses extended reality, think AR or VR, to paint a layer of critical data right onto an operator's view of the real world. This is where those superpowers come from, giving them a massive boost in awareness and decision-making.
All right, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll talk about this whole superpowered worker idea. Then, we'll see what it actually looks like from the user's perspective. After that, we'll get into the system's blueprint. And finally, we'll cover what it takes to actually bring this thing to life.
Okay, first up, the superpowered factory worker. Let's dig into the big idea behind all this.
You know what's so cool here is how intuitive this concept can be. The absolute best way to picture it is to think of a video game's heads-up display, the HUD. You know that overlay that shows your health, your ammo, your map, all that stuff? Well, the AAI brings that exact same kind of instant, contextual information to the factory floor.
So what's it actually like for the person using this? Let's take a look through their lens and see what the user actually experiences.
The first thing you'd notice is the machine view. This projects these floating menus that are spatially anchored to specific machines. So you can walk up to a machine and instantly see its vitals, its current status, and even see competing bids for a production task. It's all right there in your line of sight. No more looking away to check a different screen.
But what if you need that 10,000-foot view? Well, for that, there's the dashboard view. You can think of this as the central command post, a panel where operators can really dig into the data and tweak settings for the entire production line.
This dashboard is split into three main parts. You've got the performance panel for tracking the big stuff, like overall energy use. Then there's the timeline panel, which shows you everything that's happening and has happened. And here's the really cool part, the objectives panel. This is where the human touch is crucial. The operator can actually fine-tune the AI's goals, telling it, hey, right now, speed is more important than energy savings. It's true collaboration.
Okay, so we know what it looks like and what it does. Now, how does it all work under the hood? Let's take a peek at the system's blueprint.
Now, to map out this whole system, the designers use something called the C4 model. Don't worry, it's not as complex as it sounds. It's really just a fantastic way to visualize a complicated piece of software at different zoom levels, from way up high down to the nitty-gritty details.
We're focusing on three main layers here. First is the system context. That's the big picture, showing how the person, the AAI, and all the AI agents play together. Then you zoom into the container layer, which shows how the AI app actually talks to other systems. And finally, you get down to the component layer, which details all the internal modules that handle data, user feedback, and everything else.
But honestly, the most important piece of this whole puzzle is the feedback loop. This system isn't static, it's alive. It constantly monitors how the operator interacts with it, and it uses that data to improve both the interface and the AI's decisions. So the more it's used, the smarter it gets.
All right, let's switch gears and put on our developer hats for a minute. What does it actually take to bring a system like this to life?
So the application relies on two critical server connections. One backend handles all the evaluation stuff, logging user interactions, running surveys, basically figuring out how people are using the system. The other one is the workhorse. It manages all the live production data from the factory floor. By keeping them separate, the system stays both responsive and incredibly robust.
Now, if you wanted to build this yourself, there are a few must-haves. You'd need a very specific version of the Unity game engine that's non-negotiable for compatibility. You'd also need some specialized plugins to manage all that user feedback. And of course, you need secure, properly configured connections to those back-end servers that power the whole thing.
Look, talking about it is one thing, but you've really got to see it to believe it. And you can. The team behind this put together a full video demo showing the AI in a real manufacturing setting, and you can go watch it on YouTube right now.
And that really brings us to the most crucial point of all. An AI isn't about replacing people.
It's about building a bridge. It's about perfectly combining the amazing, irreplaceable intuition of a human operator with the pure, number-crunching power of an AI.
Which, of course, leaves us all with one massive question to chew on. Is this powerful blend of human and machine intelligence the future of every single factory?